It's a spectacular sight. But storms like these are on the rise. This can lead to disaster with catastrophic results.
Here's Manhattan. The World Trade Center Memorial would be underwater. Think of the impact of a couple 100,000 refugees, and then imagine 100 million.
Scientists point to global warming and climate change caused by over-industrialization, exploiting Earth's natural resources.
The 10 hottest years ever measured, they've all occurred in the last 14 years. And the hottest of all was 2005.
But isn't climate change a naturally occurring cycle?
Scientists have been using climate disruption because it's not just going to be warmer every place. It's going to perhaps be warmer some places, cooler other places, stormier some places, drier some places. So there's the impact to really disrupt many different aspects of people's lives.
There's a way in which capitalism, or for that matter communism in the Soviet Union, took natural resources as though they were kind of free resources, and you never factor the cost of the resources. You never factor the cost of replacing the resources into either the free market price of the good, or in the Soviet Union into the however they worked.
Ecosystems are usually pretty complex webs of different types of organisms. We often don't even fully understand the relationship between those organisms. So if organisms start increasing or decreasing in particular environments for different reasons, we might not find out until much later what the consequences really are.
In terms of party leadership, because of polarization nowadays, the Democratic Party has moved way off to the left, the Republican Party way off to the right. There's normally not very much of a clash between their own ideology and what the party leaders would like them to do. Again, the parties have become more homogeneous.
The global warming alarm is dressed up as science, but it's not science. It's propaganda.
There's no direct evidence which links 20th century global warming to anthropogenic greenhouse gases.
We're just being told lies. That's what it comes down to.
You can't say that CO2 will drive climate. It certainly never did in the past.
But in this film, it will be shown that the Earth's climate is always changing, that there is nothing unusual about the current temperature, and that the scientific evidence does not support the notion that climate is driven by carbon dioxide, man-made or otherwise. Everywhere you are told that man-made climate change is proved beyond doubt, but you are being told lies.
Brazil, India, and China, the three of the largest, quote, developing countries, were not included in the Kyoto protocols, but the expectation was that they would have to be included in any later ones, any later climate change agreements, partly because, especially China, is such a large emitter of greenhouse gases. And one of the reasons that Bush gave for not signing Kyoto was that China was such a large emitter of greenhouse gases and they weren't part of the Kyoto protocol.
Maybe 3% only of global warming, global climate people believe that global warming is not happening. On the whole, it is rising out there. But It's a very gradual kind of a thing, and because it's so gradual, ordinary people out there, it's not all that obvious that it is occurring.
One thing we can be sure of: Earth's face is changing, and it would be wise to consider it.